Hello, YouTube. I actually meant to have a graphic up before we started. It was supposed to start out like this, but instead you probably got me like... Anyway, welcome to Worship Tutorials Live. So glad that you're here. If you're joining us live, if you're joining us after the fact, then hi. You won't be able to see the live chat, which I don't like about this, but otherwise, thanks for watching. Colin. Seich. I guess I got that name right. Park, Curtis, and Big, Joshua. Hey guys, welcome. Thanks for hanging out. The purpose of this live broadcast is twofold. One, I'm going to talk about my favorite Christmas songs, and I'm going to sing a few of them. Two is, I hope to have solved some live video issues. Live video on YouTube, at least with my current hardware setup, is overly complicated. And it's my fault. I make it overly complicated. You can just use your phone and go. But... so the audio should be worked out. If you caught the last live broadcast on Friday with Bradford and myself, it only came out of the left channel, which is not fun. So let me know how it sounds, how it looks. If there's a loop, let me know. Let's talk about Christmas songs, shall we? Okay, so my favorite Christmas song, and if you're watching this, comment in the live stream or down below if you don't catch it live. Comment and let me know what your favorite Christmas song to sing is. Church song. I mean, there's a lot of Christmas songs out there that aren't like worship songs. But I guess, you know, if Frosty the Snowman is your favorite Christmas song, then let us know. But I'm going like songs that we would sing in church. We wouldn't sing Frosty the Snowman in church. Hello from the tundra of Michigan, Don Edwards says. Is it cold there? Hello from Kansas, Micah. Micah, I went to school in Kansas. So, sounds great. One issue I've had with sound, I interrupt my thoughts in the live stream all the time, and it's annoying, especially if you watch it back later. I went to school in Kansas. I went to college there, Tabor College, Hillsboro, Kansas, north of Wichita by about 45 minutes or so. So, hey. One of the issues with my live broadcast is it hasn't been very loud. So I hope to have fixed that. I added a plugin. I have a Universal Audio Apollo interface, and so I use that for my audio, but the way Wirecast is what I use to stream live, the way that handles the audio is weird. So anyway, I should have fixed it. Let's talk Christmas songs. O Come, Emmanuel, I think is my favorite Christmas song. Because, for a couple reasons, I love the way it sounds and feels. I love the messaging in it, and in fact, we did O Come, Emmanuel one year for a Good Friday service because O Come Emmanuel talks about its expectation, you know, ransom captive Israel. So Israel, you know, for all of the history of Israel, they waited in expectation of a Savior. Many Israelites, many Jews today are still waiting for a Savior. There are Jews that are Messianic Jews that believe in Christ as the Messiah, and there are many Jews who are not, who believe Christ was a prophet and not the Messiah. That's a whole different can of worms. But Israel as a nation, as God's chosen people, waited in expectation for a Savior. And so it actually works really well for Good Friday, right before an Easter service. We did it one year, and it was really cool. Anyway, I love O Come, Emmanuel. My other favorite is O Holy Night. So I'm going to sing them both. Before I do, I have free resources, and I actually put them in the description of this video. So below in the description, you can click the link and download free chord charts that I'm just going to play them right now of both of these songs. They say name your price, and I think the suggested price is $1.99, but you can name 0 as your price. I'm reading some comments. It's not as clear as it has been. Jeremy, you talking about the video quality? Micah Norris says that they went to Friends in Wichita. Micah, let me ask you a question, because I went to Tabor, so we're in the same conference, the NAIA KCAC conference. And I played football at Tabor College. This was years ago, so I went to school 03 would have been my freshman year, 2000. No, I'm sorry, 98, 99 would have been my freshman year. 02, 03 was the year I graduated, was my senior year. So Micah, let me ask you this. Is it true, because this was what we were always told, that, and I apologize if this is a little bit not safe for work, that Friends used to be called Friends University of Central Kansas, or is that a myth? Let me know, Micah. because if you take the you know, the acronym that you get when you spell out that university name, the full name, it's not nice. Okay. I don't know, Micah. I don't know what's up about the video quality. I should be streaming in 1080p. Should be. But maybe I'm not. I don't know. Maybe I set something up wrong. So, if not, sorry. Is anybody else? Yes, Micah said yes. It's true. Okay, then when did that change? Because so I was in college in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it had changed. I believe it was just Friends University, which is still FU. But, so movement is blurred, Jeremy says. Anybody else noticing that? I'm watching it. You know what it looks like? It's maybe, should be auto-focusing on me. Let's see how this works. Sorry, I got a couple tangents going on in my mind. See if it can focus. So it focused on my hand. Here, let me hold a pick up. Focused on the pick. Back onto my face. Okay. It looks like it's working on my end, so who knows what's going on between where I'm sitting and you and YouTube. Anyway, let's sing. Oh, come Emmanuel. It goes like this. Oh, come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel. You know what? You can do this. I'm doing this wrong. I started in the wrong way. I'm doing it in 6/8. Okay, let's do this in 4/4 time. Sometimes that happens. You gotta like reset your brain. This guitar, there was a question about this guitar. This is a Martin CEO7. I love it. It's really good. Oh, come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel, that mourns in lonely exile until the Son of God appears. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Second verse. Oh, come thou day spring, come and shield our spirits by thine advent here. Disperse the gloomy clouds of night, and death's dark shadow put to flight. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Shall come to thee, O Israel. question. Would you call that key of G or key of C? I would call it key of G. Because it uses the chords and the key signature from the key of G. Although it starts in a minor and it has a minor sort of feel. Anyway. Yeah, so that's O Come, O Come, Emmanuel. Excellent quality. Thank you guys for the feedback. Jeremy says stop talking about video junk and just, he said stuff, and just play. Jeremy, you are wise. All right. Let's see. Oh Holy Night. Now, I haven't played Oh Holy Night in years. Probably a year since last year. So, I just thought, yeah, I'll play it. Let me see what key I do this in typically. I believe I do it in the key of C, because G is voice for female lead. So let's just play in the key of C. Oh Holy Night. Like I said, links below. You can go to the Worship Tutorials pages where you can download this stuff. Now, Oh Holy Night is definitely in 6/8 time. Okay. So, let me look. Comments seem to have stopped. Okay, it just looks like not very many more comments have come in. I just wanted to make sure I'm still seeing stuff. All right. Let's sing Oh Holy Night. I love this song too, by the way. Danny says you're doing my version of Oh Holy Night. Yeah, so the point with these versions that I'm doing, a lot of times artists will redo songs in really creative ways, and that's really cool. But sometimes it gets away from like the traditional way that you sing a song, and so it confuses people when you sing it, or it just makes it overly difficult to play for your band. So I just made these really simple arrangements. This is Oh Holy Night. Oh Holy Night. I'm gonna move this chart so I can see it. I'm reading a chart. The stars are brightly shining. It is a night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining till He appeared and the soul felt its birth. The red of hope, the weary world rejoices beyond her grave. A new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices of night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night. Oh, holy night. Oh, night divine. That gets kind of high. Truly, He taught us to love one another. His law is love, and His gospel is peace. Chains shall He break, for the slave is our brother, and in His name His holy name. Christ is the Lord, and I'll praise His name forever. In His power and glory, evermore proclaim. And His power and glory, evermore proclaim. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night and divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night, oh, holy night. Sorry, I gotta warm up next time before I do this. Oh, night divine. Okay. All right, so yeah, Kyle, kinda high. Actually, that was pretty high. You could do it higher. Many do. You could do it lower. So you could just take your capo, put it on like the 3rd fret, do it in the key of, I don't know, B flat, for example, using key of G chords. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It's probably a bit easier. So then when you get to the big part, let me try this just for just to see. I do not like this. I don't like these Planet Waves capos much. That's what I had available here. Fall on your knees and I'll hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, in the night, oh, holy night, oh, night divine. See, you could just do. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. Anyway, yeah, so key of B, B flat, A, might be a lot easier to sing than key of C, but whatever. I went for it. Is this thing still broadcasting? Looks like my stream ended for some odd reason. You still going? Yeah, still says we're streaming. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with my connection. So let me know if you're having difficulties. Okay. So yeah, I talked about my capo, and then I saw some people talking about capos. G7th, it's the only way to fly, in my opinion, when it comes to capos. So G7th are my favorite. Shub, I've never tried one of those, but I can't get over like the mechanism. I'm sure they work fine, like, but in a live situation, you got to be able to turn it on, take it on and off real fast. And so, G7th version 2 is my favorite. These are real easy to work with, but one, they look. I don't like the way they look. You know, this or a Kaiser capo would look kind of the same thing. And they're really easy to get on and off. This Planet Waves capo, whatever the material is, used to take the finish off the back of my other acoustic guitar, so I don't use that on there anymore. But anyway. Danny Soto says Kaiser all day. Just kidding. Anyway. So, yeah, those are my 2 favorite Christmas songs. O Come, O Come, Emmanuel. O Holy Night. Hello, Bradford. Nice of you to join us. I saw you pop in, and then I saw a whole bunch of people talking to you. So, Bradford is apparently more popular than I am here on my own channel, which is fine. Maybe I'll just give it to you, Bradford. You can take it. Take it and run, my friend. You know, a wise man once told me, everything is for sale for the right price. Bradford. Okay? Okay, so, the tuner app. Jamie is talking about the Polytune tuner app. I actually used it right before coming on here live to make sure my guitar was in tune. Looks like this. I like it. Works well. Check it out. Oh, I'm a little flat. I didn't spend too much time with it, you know. Danny asked, do I hire anyone? That's a good question. So, how many of you remember Nick Rice? He's been in a lot of the vlog videos. And that kind of thing. Nick, I did hire Nick for a little while to run camera stuff for me, to do editing for me. But Nick moved. So Nick is now living in Washington State, which is in the other side of the country. So sadly, Nick will not be making appearances here at Worship Tutorials anymore. Jeremy says, I think Bradford has paid for it in sweat equity. Jeremy, Bradford is thanked and compensated for his time here at Worship Tutorials. In both cheeseburgers and YouTube ad revenue for videos that he's in and things that we work together on. So anyway, let's see. If there are any questions that you guys have, I can answer them now. It is 5:15 where I live, so I'm going to have to take off pretty soon. This is a quick stream. So, yeah, I'm not going to stay on too long. He got married and ditched me, Danny says. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Nick got married and then left. And he and his wife moved. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. You got to follow your dreams. And that's what Nick is doing with his wife. I miss Nick so much. So, Nick, if you see this, I miss you. I want to come visit. But it's a long plane flight. Jeremy wants a bacon cheeseburger. Come on over, Jeremy. We'll have bacon cheeseburgers together. I play this song almost every. This is a pretty random stream here. I play this almost every, you know, every Sunday when we kind of do line checks. And it's an ode to Nick Rice. It goes like this. Nope. Okay, that was Top Gun. So questions, I saw some questions. Bradford said, what is the best digital modeling platform and why is it the Kemper? Well, Bradford, let me explain to you why you may or may not be right or wrong. The best modeling platform for you is whatever works best for you because they have so many pluses and minuses. Obviously, the Kemper is awesome. The Helix is also awesome. The Helix does things the Kemper cannot. The Kemper does things the Helix cannot. Sound quality wise, I think it's a wash. For me personally, you may think the Kemper sounds better, or you may think the Helix sounds better. I don't think many people think that. I think that they sound equally as good if you use the right things and tweak the knobs just right. You got to tweak the knobs just right. That's part of it. Okay, more questions. Bradford. All right. What is my favorite guitar song? Nathan asks. You mean like song where there's cool guitar in it? Probably the first song I ever heard that made me think, whoa, with guitar was Mysterious Ways by U2, but it's probably not my favorite guitar song. I don't know the answer to that question. It's got to be something by U2 because they're my favorite band. Okay. Let's see here. There was another question that I thought. Oh, Danny Soto asks, do we do Reckless Love? I know that it's a hot topic in some places. Not yet, but I believe we are going to be doing that in our church, and I would assume the controversy over Reckless Love is the line reckless love. Is God's love reckless? What does that mean? You know, there's another song that kind of goes there, and that song is Fierce. Like a tidal wave, like a hurricane, you know, these things. Using natural disasters to describe the love of God. That could be taken in a negative light. I think those songs in the song Reckless Love, or no, another one that people talk about is Furious by Jeremy Riddle. Furious, describing God's love as furious, which is like angry, mad. So, you know, I don't know that I think what those authors are trying to communicate is that God's love is so passionate for us. God is so passionate for us in his love, pursues us when we don't deserve it, loves us regardless of what we do, which is just very unlike what we do as human beings. The ways that we try to communicate the love of God don't ever even come close. And so, you know, it's reckless in the fact that it, you know, like if you were dating somebody, for example, and that person was abusive to you, most people would say you got to get out of that relationship. If you were married to somebody who's abusive to you, you should get out of that relationship. But that is the kind of relationship you could say that we have with God. We are abusive to God because we constantly sin and disobey him and are against him in the way that we live our lives, and yet God just keeps coming back to us. You would think over time, you know, that God would just be like, all right, this is a relationship just isn't going to work. And so, but no, God pursues us and offers us salvation, freely offers it to us, regardless of how much sin in our lives. I don't know if I'm trying to communicate this well, but, you know, that's what I think the author's going for. It's reckless, you know, it goes above and beyond what love should do. And so I think it's cool. I think it's good. But I think, you know, if people have issue with that, then it's probably a good idea to explain it to your congregation. You know, or say like, this is what this song means to me. This is what the word reckless means to me in this song. So, you know, if there are people who have issue with that song, and your pastor especially, it's probably not a good idea to do it. You don't want to do something that causes division unnecessarily, unless that division is born out of ignorance, and then what the appropriate thing to do is teach, because, you know, ignorance is because somebody is ignorant because they aren't educated. So educate people, bring them out of ignorance when it comes to certain things. But, you know, if the line reckless love, you know, singing the word sloppy wet kiss, if that makes people think, I don't want to be involved in this church because I don't like that stuff, maybe it's not worth doing, you know, maybe it's worth changing. Another one is the evolving line in So Will I. I've made a video about that has a few views, and talk about evolution. You know, I'm a science major, educated in it, and so I'm not ignorant when it comes to evolution and science. At least I'm less ignorant than many people, I hope, because I've been educated. And evolution is a thing that exists that we can prove. So that line, to me, I have no issue with it. I think it glorifies God. But some people might, because of preconceived notions and ignorance about evolution. Ignorance is a word that makes people be offended. I'm not using it in that way. I'm just meaning somebody hasn't been educated in something. Anyway, okay. Any more questions? Are there pedals to run pads from? Joe Joseph says. I have a video where I describe... So, first of all, pads. By the way, pads 7 are out now. That's what this video should have been about, because we just released them. You can get them at worshiptutorials.com, and they're on sale. Everything at worshiptutorials.com is on sale for 20% off at the moment. So pads are MP3s. So if there are pedals that play MP3s, you can certainly run them from those pedals. The other thing you can do is use a MIDI controller in pedal form to control software that's playing pads. And lots of pedals will control software via MIDI. The Helix will do it if you want. You can use your Helix to control pads from like Ableton or something like that. But hopefully that answers your question a little bit. Okay, I'm probably going to have to run unless there are any other pressing questions. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Jeremy Blanton says, what is your ultimate cheeseburger topped with? Cheddar cheese, bacon, lettuce, onion, pickle. Not a fan of tomatoes here. If you want to do caramelized onion, okay, but I think, raw onion is better on a burger for me personally. Let's see, what else? Garlic mayonnaise and ketchup. That's my ultimate bacon cheeseburger. Tyson Cornelson says you should do a video proving creation is true and evolution is false. If I did a video like that, I would try to prove that creation is true and evolution is true, because they're both true in my opinion. In my educated opinion, because I do have an education in science. So, I believe evolution exists and God created the world. And in fact, if you look at science, if you look at what science discovers more and more about the creation of the universe, it supports what's in the Bible. There are so many things that science cannot explain, and so people have theories, which is part of what evolution is theory. Part of it is not. So maybe you're thinking of evolutionary theory, man evolved from, that we as people evolved from some sort of single-celled organism that eventually crawled out of the ocean. I don't believe that is true, but science doesn't prove that to be true. It theorizes it. So you have to distinguish between evolutionary theory and observed evolution in nature, and they're different. So that should be clarified up front. But as we learn more, as science learns more about the beginning of the universe, it shows that what God said happened. Let there be light, and there was light. Like the Big Bang Theory describes. Again, it's a theory, but it describes a massive explosion of energy from seemingly nothing. And most scientists believe now that all of that energy that happened in the Big Bang Theory was light. So how you can see that and read about that and understand that from a scientific perspective and not look at the Bible and say, Genesis 1, let there be light, and there was. How you can look at those two things and say, and not understand how they support one another, I don't get it. But I think a lot of people operate from preconceived notions or from teaching that they received that was not true, whether that be from a science perspective or from a, quote, religious perspective. I think there's a lot of bad teaching out there. But I'm going on. Dyson's like, yeah, whatever, man. Yeah, great. Do whatever works. I don't know if you're upset with me or if you're just like, hey, I didn't expect that. Okay. Micah Norris says he has an education in computer science. Does that count? That makes you, I'm ignorant when it comes to computer science. So you are not. Therefore, you can do things I cannot. And talk about things that I'm not qualified to talk about. Okay. Do I restring my guitars from high to low? I restring them from, I do the E string, then the A, then the G, then the B, then or D, then B, then E. I gotta know my string names, don't I? Okay. How important is time off for your people on your praise and worship team? Jeremy Blanton asks. Great question. Very important. So many people I talk to who serve at our church have come from other churches, and over and over and over and over again I hear the line, I got so burned out because I was there every single weekend. So it is very important that you don't do that. So we schedule people twice a month at most. And our goal is to schedule somebody once a month. So our goal as worship leaders on our worship teams is to have 4 people in every position. And so 4 guitar players, 4 drummers, 4, if you want 2 vocalists, you need 8 of them so that you can, now we don't hit those goals very well, but, Tyson says he's not upset at me. Good. Okay. I didn't know how to read your comment there. So, We don't have that many at most of our campuses. So you get, ideally we want 4 different teams that rotate. So, but most campuses can get 2 in most positions. So that way it gives people a break. They're only serving half the time, which is nice because, if people are serving every single week, what if they want to go on a vacation? I mean, goodness, they should be able to they should feel free to do that. They shouldn't feel obligated, to serve at their church and say, I don't know if we should go on this vacation because who's going to play guitar, or something like who's going to play piano, that kind of thing. And it's a hard road to get there. Fifth Sunday is a good question, A Rose. We actually have what we call an E team, which is the Fifth Sunday team. And it's, it's kind of whoever can do it. Fifth Sunday always throws a wrench into things for our system. Do we practice with a metronome? Joe Joseph asks. We play everything to a click track, so everything we do is to a metronome. So yes, and I highly recommend practicing with a metronome. Your timing, it will help. Timing is one of those things that is difficult for musicians when they first start out, but very important. So practice to a metronome. Okay. What about secular music in church? Judah says. We do that from time to time. We call it like a feature song. We'll play a rock or pop song in church. And there are churches that do it every week, kind of when people walk in. There are churches who adamantly refuse to do that. That's up to the vision of you and your pastor, your church, whether you want that. If we do it, it's always intentional. So if we're going to do a pop or a secular song, it will reinforce something in our service. It will be like, our pastor will use it as a speaking point, or it will be themed in a way and set up in a way, communicated in a way that it develops the story or the narrative of the Sunday, whatever that is. So we are very intentional about it, but we don't do it that often. And yes, question about multitracks. We use multitracks in our church. Almost every song is to a track of some kind. Sometimes it's just pads, sometimes there's synths and things in it. Sometimes it's just a click track where I lead. It helps timing, it helps the band stay tight and that kind of thing. And it gives you, sort of reinforcement of sound if you need it. Good questions. Okay. I think that's going to be it because I need to run pretty soon. And so thank you guys for hanging out with me. It's always a thing about how you end these things. What are you going to see at the end of this live stream? So I'm going to cut to a logo and then I'll see you guys later. So, hey, we may or may not be live again tomorrow. So Bradford's going to come hang out with me tomorrow. Bradford, are we going to be live tomorrow? He'll answer in the comments. We'll see. All right. So yeah, so thanks for hanging out. Live video is fun. I want to do more of it. That's why I'm kind of trying to tweak this setup. But again, thanks for hanging out. See you next time. Bye.